to have an abortion. I won't say by who, but to your point, yeah, like you just have to know that it's something that you're capable of handling.
I'm getting the short end of the stick. This is not about money, clout. This is not a publicity stunt. My legacy is my baby. You're gonna tell the people that I wasn't there when I was, but we don't have to be together. But we definitely should acknowledge the work that was put in, and that is on my back. The three of us did that.
Y'all, buckle up, because this story is messier than a backstage fight at an award show. Imagine dedicating over 30 years of your life to a group, building a legacy, only to be tossed out like yesterday's mixtape.
A lot of times they ask, for Salt-N-Peppa to talk or be here, and they don't have Spinderella. It's out of our hands, and she always blames us, think that's, to fight. We do fight, but sometimes they no, we just want, the Salt-N-Peppa. And it's hard, and that was a lot of that constant, and she wants to say, no, don't do this, instead.
Right. I'm like, I'm doing this.
She's like, this is
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to DJ Spinderella, the iconic third member of Salt-N-Pepa. But honey, the way this all went down, it wasn't just shady, it was downright cold. And trust me, the tea is piping hot. So, how did Spinderella, the DJ who spun the beats behind some of the most legendary tracks in hip-hop history, end up on the outside looking in? Let's rewind the track to the 80s. Spinderella joined Salt-N-Peppa in 1986, when she was just 16 years old. That's right, a teenager handpicked by producer Herbie Izor to replace the group's original DJ. She wasn't just spinning records, she was spinning her whole life into this group.
I was very upset. This played out in different ways for me, as I definitely had depressions about it, bouts. I've had self-esteem issues. I had confidence issues.
For over 3 decades, Spin was the backbone of Salt-N-Pepa's sound, touring the world, gracing album covers, and sharing the spotlight. But behind the scenes, things were complicated. It wasn't just about the music. Spinderella brought an energy to the group that balanced Salt's cool demeanor and Peppa's fiery attitude. Fans adored their chemistry, and it was clear that Spin wasn't just a background player, she was essential. But despite all the glitz and glam, cracks began to show. While Salt-N-Peppa often took center stage in interviews and promotions, Spin was quietly pushed to the sidelines. And as the years went by, the tension only grew. Fast forward to 2018, New Kids on the Block announced their mixtape tour, and guess who was supposed to be part of that nostalgic lineup? Yep, Salt-N-Pepa and Spinderella. But when the tour kicked off, fans were quick to notice that Spin was nowhere in sight. And here's where things get wild. Spinderella took to social media, revealing that she had been terminated via email. Can you believe that? After 30 years, not even a phone call, just an email cutting her out like she was some temp worker. She said, "I'm deeply saddened to share that I will not be performing on the mixtape tour despite promoting it and being advertised." But oh, it gets messier. A couple of months later, Spinderella dropped a bomb. She was suing Salt-N-Peppa for unpaid royalties, breach of contract, fraud, and intentional misrepresentation. Yep, Spin wasn't just airing dirty laundry, she was dragging the whole hamper into the courtroom. She claimed she was owed money for years of work, including a promised $125,000 from a compilation album that never saw the light of day. Oh, and remember that VH1 reality show, the Salt-N-Pepa show? Spin was only brought on as a guest for minimal pay, despite her being a foundational part of the group's success. Spin's lawsuit wasn't just about the money, it was about respect. She alleged that Salt-N-Peppa repeatedly cut her out of deals and decisions, treating her like an afterthought rather than a partner. According to Spin, she was left in the dark about financial arrangements, and when she asked questions, she was met with vague answers or outright silence. The betrayal wasn't just professional, it was deeply personal. This was a group she considered family, and now they were treating her like a disposable asset. And if you think that's bad, hold on, it gets worse. Even after the lawsuit, Salt-N-Peppa released their Lifetime biopic, and guess what? They completely excluded Spinderella, like she didn't even exist in their story. Spin clapped back on Twitter saying, Too often, Black women who have made meaningful contributions are left out of historical narratives. And honestly, she wasn't wrong. She added that while Salt-N-Pepa's legacy was rooted in empowering women, they disempowered her at every turn. Spin made it crystal clear she was done supporting them unless they made things right. The biopic wasn't just a slap in the face. It was a public erasure of Spinderella's legacy. Fans who watched the movie were quick to call out the glaring omission, flooding social media with support for Spin. They remembered the countless performances, interviews, and award shows where she stood proudly alongside Salt-N-Pepa. The group's attempt to rewrite history didn't sit well with the public, and the backlash was swift and fierce. But here's where it gets even juicier. Salt-N-Pepa's response was, let's just say, less than sincere. Salt claimed, "Our hearts are open to Spinderella." Girl, if your hearts were open, why weren't your wallets? Peppa tried to justify it by saying the biopic focused on their college years before Spin joined, but the movie clearly covered their entire career, and Spin was a huge part of that. Fans weren't buying it, and honestly, neither am I. What makes this whole situation even sadder is that Spin never wanted things to end this way. She's spoken openly about how much she cherished the time they spent together, building a legacy that inspired countless women in hip-hop. But as much as she valued their history, she knew she couldn't ignore the way she was treated. For Spin, standing up for herself wasn't just about seeking justice. It was about reclaiming her worth. Now here's the kicker. Despite all this drama, Spin has said she doesn't want to abandon their legacy. But she made one thing clear. If they ever want to reunite, they need to handle their business and give her the respect she deserves. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about money, it's about being treated like an equal. In recent interviews, Spin has hinted at finding peace, focusing on her solo projects and personal growth. She's been working on a memoir that promises to spill even more tea about her time with Salt-N-Pepa. And if the lawsuit and social media posts are any indication, this book is going to be a page-turner. Fans are eagerly awaiting her side of the story, knowing that there's still so much more to uncover. Meanwhile, Salt-N-Pepa have continued performing, but the shadow of their fallout with Spin looms large. No matter how much they try to move on, the absence of their iconic DJ is felt by fans and industry insiders alike. Their legacy, once a symbol of female empowerment and unity, is now marred by controversy and betrayal. Interestingly, many in the industry have weighed in on the fallout, with some insiders claiming that the issues between Spin and Salt-N-Pepa were simmering long before the public ever caught wind. Behind closed doors, there were reportedly disagreements over creative control, finances, and even personal relationships. It's said that Spin often felt like an outsider, even during their peak years, hinting at deeper issues of exclusion and mistrust. Fans have also speculated whether external influences played a role in the split. Some believe that management and record label executives may have driven a wedge between the trio, favoring Salt-N-Pepa for promotional opportunities while sidelining Spin. This kind of manipulation isn't uncommon in the music industry, where power dynamics can shift rapidly, leaving even the most integral members feeling disposable. Adding to the complexity, there were whispers about unresolved personal conflicts. Some close to the group suggested that jealousy and competition might have fueled the rift. With all three women vying for recognition and control within the group, tensions were bound to rise. These underlying issues, left unaddressed for years, could have easily exploded into the public spectacle we see today. Despite all the drama, Spin's influence on the group's success is undeniable. She wasn't just a DJ, she was a pioneer, bringing a unique flair and technical expertise that elevated Salt-N-Pepa's sound. Her contributions to their albums and live performances were crucial, and fans haven't forgotten the role she played in shaping the group's identity. While Spin continues to forge her own path, her story serves as a powerful reminder of the challenges women face in the music industry. Her courage to speak out against injustice and demand recognition is inspiring, and it's clear that her journey is far from over. As she prepares to share her truth in her memoir, one can only hope that her story will spark meaningful conversations about fairness and respect in the industry. The aftermath of this public fallout has also raised questions about how the music industry handles internal disputes within groups. Many fans and industry professionals are now scrutinizing how contracts and financial arrangements are managed behind closed doors. Spinderella's story has become a cautionary tale for aspiring artists, highlighting the importance of understanding the business side of the music world. Moreover, Spinderella's courage to stand up against her former bandmates has inspired other artists to speak out about their own experiences. This ripple effect is creating a broader conversation about fairness and transparency in the industry. As more artists come forward, the hope is that this will lead to lasting changes in how musicians are treated and compensated. Spin's influence doesn't just stop with her music, she's become a symbol of resilience and empowerment. Her journey serves as a testament to the strength it takes to fight for one's rightful place in history, even when facing powerful opposition. Fans continue to rally behind her, not just for her talent, but for her unwavering determination. Interestingly, while Salt-N-Pepa's public image has taken a hit, they've shown little sign of remorse. This lack of accountability has only fueled the public's support for Spinderella. It's clear that the narrative of their legacy has shifted, and Spin's voice is now a critical part of that story. As we await Spinderella's memoir, one can only wonder what new revelations will come to light. Will there be more details about the behind-the-scenes drama? Will we finally understand the full extent of the betrayal? Whatever the case, it's certain that Spin's story will continue to captivate and inspire. So, what really happened between Salt-N-Peppa and Spinderella? Was it jealousy, money, personal beef? Or is there something even deeper they're not telling us? One thing's for sure. The truth is as tangled as a pair of old headphones. But what do you think? Did Salt-N-Peppa do Spin dirty, or is there more to this story? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's spill some more tea together. And don't forget, this isn't over. Spin is working on her memoir, and you know she's about to drop some major revelations. Stay tuned, because this story is far from finished, and you won't want to miss what happens next. Trust me, it's about to get even spicier.